There's one way. Jesus is the only way. There's one way.
Right.
Within Christianity, I wasn't necessarily encouraged to think about different interpretations of the same verse.
Right.
No, there was one way to look at it. And I think that's what always bothered me. Loving the Hebrew Bible and hating it for some of its inconsistencies and, for some of its silences, especially on the part of women. But I think Midrash kind of provides a way into that. In many ways, Midrash gave me a way to love the God of the Hebrew Bible if I couldn't do it within Christianity. So, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Makes a lot of sense to me.
Everything Monica says makes a lot of sense to Joey.
Well, there's.
He's being kind.
No, I'm not. It's just an observation. It feels to me that as far as what would. Yes, that I would like to. Being able to identify those omissions, because for someone who's looking for guidance today on how to do it all right, the Torah is replete with omissions.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I feel like a more kind of that's for me where a lot of the substance would have to be as far as things to do rather than examples of things that I am not attracted to. So, I mean, for Midrash, do you think? Is Rosenzweig the way in? I mean, he's pretty elusive.
Who can understand Rosenzweig?
Yeah, I don't even know that I do. I don't, but...
What, you think you get Rosenzweig? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm saying...
If you do, that's cool.
I'm saying that I don't get him yet. I haven't read the
Star of Redemption.
Star of Redemption, right?
Yeah, I like his slimmer texts, on Jewish learning.
I don't like guys who try to do that, who try to go all crazy with the wild. It's like Finnegan's Wake from James Joyce. Like, dude, I can fuck you up. Don't come to me with that shit. There's no need for it.
It's very intimidating. Yeah.
Well, but I feel like it's function.
Yeah, I think you're right to a certain degree.
Right.
Yeah. Star of Redemption killed me, but once I was taught the essence of Star of Redemption, that's when I got it. So it wasn't just sitting down and reading it.
What is the essence of Star?
I'm not going to go there, but the idea that I take away from it is the idea of creation as ongoing, creation and revelation, and it's ongoing, and that's what I liked, and that's not in Christianity, not the brand of Christianity that I know at any rate.
Right.
It happened, and that's it.
Right.
And that's what I like about this Everett Fox version, because it's not in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. It's at the beginning of God's creating of the heavens and the earth. And just that simple shift in language implies something that has always been ongoing, as opposed to something that, has this definitive start and finish.
Right. And that's certainly the more consistent with my understanding of the Tetragrammaton, which is that I was, I am, I will be. So it's a constant unfolding.
Exactly. And I think that Judaism is so much more aware of that than Christianity is. It's, okay, we have Jesus now, everything's done, we know everything. Everything's black and white now. Mm-hmm. And Judaism seems to focus so much more on the grayness that is the Bible.
Now, how much time did you spend with the actual Midrash?
Not as much as I could have or should have. I mean, I've read a lot of Midrash, I've studied a lot of Midrash, but...
Does that literature excite you, or is it more the Midrashic technique?
Both. It excites me for different reasons, because I love the Hebrew Bible. And I love thinking about different ways to think about the Hebrew Bible, different ways to read it.
But I don't enjoy Midrash because it always wants to make the good guys really, really good, and it makes Jacob and Isaac really, really good, when in the Torah they're very complex characters.
Right, that's true.
And then it makes sympathetic characters like Esau. Is totally sympathetic in the Torah. They make him out as the epitome of evil in the Midrash.
Yeah,
that drives me crazy.
Yeah, that's a turn off.
Yeah, that's true. But part of reading Midrash, I think, is... I think the reader is kind of implicated in the reading of Midrash we have to make a decision about what we're reading, and whether it's... we're supposed to go back to the source. It's extending it but that doesn't mean it can't be extended the opposite way too,
Right.
by the way I read it.
Right.
I don't know. That's just my idea.
And you've taught the Bible, so you've taught Midrash and you've taught Midrash.
Yeah, I've taught Bible as literature, which is a little bit different than just teaching flat out Hebrew Bible.
And what were the main things you tell your students, like when they're asked 20 years from now, like what did Monica teach you?
That Abraham is sacrifice happy. That seems to be the thing that they all love, that they come away with at the end of the
Sacrifice
semester.
happy.
Yeah. Yeah. That the Torah is full of examples of what not to do. I don't know, I fill them with so much knowledge that it's very hard to take stock of it right now.
But there's like Pirkei Avot, they say, Rabbi Ishmael was wont to say 3 things upon, the world depends, like Torah study, tzedakah, and prayer.
Right.
It's like Dr. Monica is one to say upon 3 things is that, I want to compile the book of Monica, the Gospel of Monica.
The last thing each of us should do is compile our own gospel, and then no one will read it. But just a big library of all the accumulated
Should.
wisdom, which the generations hence will ignore.
Yeah.
Well,
Any final words, ladies and gentlemen?
no, I have to read Franz Rosenzweig.
Oh,
That's
that's a daunting task.
Yeah, but now I'm annoyed by his impertinence. Do you think? I mean, when he writes the Star of Redemption, why did he choose that really kind of dense, elusive, inaccessible? What do you think his motivation for that was?
I think it's just the way his mind works.
Really?
I
You don't think he was gratified at writing
degree.
something that was?
I think this is the community that he's interacting in. He's interacting in a community of, his friend's Martin Buber, right?
Right, it's also really difficult.
Right. So you've got these guys that are in dialogue with one another, and it's like
And
as
would they
an
also-
academic I start to
Right.
write more densely because I'm
Sure.
writing without realizing it for the very small
Absolutely.
community of people around
Right.
me.
No, the question is who your audience is.
Right.
So there are people. It wasn't just. He was not just his only audience. He was writing for Martin Buber. He was writing for a few. So there was some peer group to whom the Star of Redemption was useful upon first
I guess
reading.
I'm not an authority on Star of Redemption. I just
Did Buber and Levinas have much in the course?
yeah, they're like the big 3: Buber, Rosenzweig,
But
Levinas.
did
all of their
Buber and
ideas
Levinas
are being
meet?
exchanged.
Did they
Well,
meet in person? Do you know? Did they talk
don't
talk
know.
to each other? Buber died 1970?
Yeah,
Like
I
at
think
age 90 or
Levinas died in
something.
like the 90s. I want to say that there was interaction.
But there didn't have to be. I mean, dialogues can take across. I mean, you could say that there are dialogues between thinkers who lived centuries apart as well.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
so.
They're after the same things. Buber's I Thou is Levinas's Face to Face.
Right.
Right. It's just
Right.
the difference of a horizontal and a
Right.
vertical construction.
Right.
Right.
Levinas is face to face.
Yeah, Levinas
Right.
has this idea of the face-to-face encounter. It's like Buber's I Thou.
Right.
Like that's where God is.
Right.
It's in the I Thou, in the face-to-face.
Right. God is asked out in the face to face. Right.
Is what?
Because it's a face to face is a dialogue between peers. I thou is there's an implicit hierarchy in an I thou.
Right. I Thou, you put the other person above you. The face-to-face is a little bit different. We could sit and argue about it. Maybe some
Well,
people
no,
read it
I
differently.
sound like
Yeah,
that.
no, I know. No, the idea is that's an experience of God in the true face-to-face encounter.
Right.
Yeah. But some would say that it's not like this. If it's a face-to-face, you're putting the other person before you, so isn't that above you? Those are the little nuances of...
And I never hear you talking about Buber, or very rarely, so, why Levinas? Why does Levinas have so much meaning to you? Right, you don't talk that much about Buber.
No, I used to. I don't as much anymore. But I think Levinas is drawing from Buber. I think Buber is everywhere in Levinas.
But how did Levinas capture you?
Well, I started with the Talmudic readings. Just his explication of the Talmudic texts and the way that he was doing it midway